Okay, let's go live. It's weird. I must have had the schedule set up the wrong time. It said you can now go live, but it's not even time yet. It's 12:53. I usually go on at 1, so that's a weird start. Anyways, Ronnie Braun was first in the house, and he said something about his diesel heater. Uh, Can you turn it horizontally? Yeah, you can turn it horizontally as long as the glow plug is facing kind of upwards, not so it's down. And smoke of any kind is not really good. It's supposed to be smoke free. And usually, if it's smoke, it's like unburnt fuel or the little mystifier is plugged up or something in that area. Diane, Phoenix, hi. Hello there. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Ronnie Braun. I don't know if you've heard me at the beginning there, just explaining a little bit to you what I think it is. Anyways, once you get smoke, usually it's unburnt fuel, like pumping in. I remember you saying something about you run it 24 hours a day. You don't want to turn it off. Well, it's going to get to a point where it's slow. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Thanks for coming in again. Uh, that's when you can get soot buildup. And I don't know. I run mine slow all the time too, and I don't think I have any soot either. But there could be a lot of problems. Not a lot, but there could be different problems. Like I was saying, that little mystifier screen could be plugged up. Then you have to take your glow plug out, test it, or pull everything out. I have several videos on that, taking it apart anyway. See if the mystifier, you can take the mystifier screen out, hold it with a pair of needle nose pliers, and then burn it with a torch and burn any stuff out of there. Make sure you get the mystifier screen in all the way. It has to go past the little air hole. I have videos out about those. Just go back and look at my diesel heat. I don't know if I have them in a playlist or not about diesel heating. If you go look at my playlist, um, I explained a little bit about that. Air code 3. If you don't want to take out your glow plug without kind of a proper tool, unless you have a spare glow plug with you, because if you break it, well, that's it. Um, you need a new one. And usually things happen to these diesel heaters. Never break down when it's summertime. I mean, they only break down when it's winter, when you're using them. Okay, let's see. Kat is in the house, and Diane is in the house, and Ronnie Braun is in the house, and everybody's saying hi. I hope. Yeah, good, good. Okay, I came on. I think I'm actually on a little bit early because I must have set my timer wrong for the. Instead of 1 o'clock, I must have had 12 something, 12:48 or 12:49, something like that. Thought I was live then. Lazy day here, Kat says. Watching football. Is that the American type football or the? Yeah, I know that, but the my I know I'm early, um, but my Streamyard said you can go live like 10 minutes before 12 or 1. So I was wondering, well, what the heck's going on? Why would it say that? It doesn't go live by itself. You have to still press the button to say go live, but Yeah, so I didn't know which was right. I should have went by my computer clock or the clock on the wall. It's not even 1 o'clock yet. So that's why I'm early, having my tea again as usual. Uh, Football is American football. Yeah, football and soccer. Yeah, American football. They call it football, yet most of the time they're touching the ball with their hands, not their feet. You're thinking of getting some parts. You know what I was thinking of doing is getting for myself, because I've taken so many of these apart and I know how I really well how they work. I can tell you exactly how much fuel it burns, everything. I can tell you they're so simple piece of machinery. Moving parts are the fan. I mean, that's it. Parts that are necessary to get a bunch of those and have them on hand would be perfect, because uh, those are like have a bunch of glow plugs on hand. Buy a bunch of them. Um, the gaskets from when you take this apart, they're going to probably break a gasket or something. Either get those gasket, which I have, gasket maker. It's like a putty stuff, or the actual gasket themselves. Then buy the proper glow plug wrench, the little mystifier screen. Might be able to get some fans on extra stock, because if a fan goes, well, that's the fan motor. Like that's the only other thing. Um, the electronic board and the controller on the wall. Um, Now, hopefully, the standard they've changed plugins through the years a little bit, so you're gonna have to just go with one and stick with that, and, um, unless you know how to make your own plug-in ends and things, what have you. But as far as parts go, that would be it. Um, you don't need to do anything with the burn chamber, the part that looks like a motorcycle. Uh, I put an AM instead of PM on my thing. Oh, well, that's simply lovely. I don't know why I was thinking of that, but everybody was probably waiting and said, "Well, where the heck is he?" That's okay. Yeah, I was thinking of, anyways, having some parts on stock myself, because I know a lot of people that I belong to a few Facebook groups too, and they're always asking questions. And where can I get this part and that part and what have you? It would be nice to have those, because I'd have them in stock here then. So, and they're, I mean, yeah, you have to put out a bunch of money at first, but they're they're cheap enough to keep a few parts for you anyway. Even extra pump. I have an extra pump myself handy here, and then I have taken mine apart just to see if I had soot buildup in it, for fear that you run they say, well, I can understand, it's like any kind of diesel thing. If you run it slowly, the pump runs slower. Yes, to compensate for it. You don't want to keep pumping fuel in there and having it not burn, as the fan slows down. Um, Everything gets much slower. So the amount of pumps per second slows down to compensate for the amount of fuel that's needed to burn. So I checked mine, opened it up and checked inside, banged it on the table. No soot came out at all. Um, that was, I think, 1.5 years worth of winter, 1.5 winters, because they started in the middle of winter, and then it was the end of the other winter. So, like I said, in the summertime you don't use them; they're turned off. So, I suppose when you first fire them up in the spring or the fall again, when you get ready for winter, they I wonder if they have a smell like, with like a new furnace starting up with that, burning all the dust off of it. So it's been nice here. Haven't been really running the heaters. Mine's not on right now. What the temperature? The temperature is 22 degrees inside here, and it's 8 degrees outside. I got there's no heat coming out of the front of the van, but it's running to get some power. So hang on, let me go turn this off. I'll be right back. I didn't think I'd have enough power to keep going there. So maybe I set my time thing wrong. Maybe that's why uh, you just have to bump into me online like a pop-up thing instead of scheduled. Well, a lot of people know I'm scheduled for Sunday at this time anyway. I noticed Ronnie Bronny was typing in the thing like an hour early. Oh, wait a minute! It said that 8:51 a.m. is when you left messages. Holy smokes! And then I answered you at 11:49. So I don't know how I can tell when I had this thing time set for, but it obviously wasn't right because I usually set it for 1. And if I set it for 1 a.m., well, that's, it's like I'm asleep at that time. Do I have solar? Yes, I do. Today it doesn't count. Um, there is no sunshine at all anywhere today. It's totally cloudy. And I have 3 AGM batteries to run things, and I do use a lot of power. Um, it's at 12.6, just went down from 12.7 to 12.6 right now. So once it gets to 12.2, 12.1, then I gotta charge back up because that's getting down to 50% of my usage. So I want to make sure that the voltages stay up. I get longer life out of the batteries that way. Yesterday we had a beautiful sunshiny day. Uh, my solar took over and just, boy, I had lots of power for during the day. That's for sure. So that's when you start charging everything up you can, because it makes no effect as far as voltage goes. You're just charging directly off the solar panels actually, and it's still charging your batteries on top of that. So there's a lot of even that in winter when the sun is so low in Canada here. I mean, if we had sunshine from the minute the sun came up until the minute the sun goes down, you can probably squeeze in 3, 4, maybe 4 hours of nice sun, even if you had sunshine all day long. My panels are pretty good, pretty effective. I get sometimes even on cloudy days in the summer, anyways. I'll still charge up. And because the sun is up very early in the summer, uh, by the time I get up, my batteries are already fully charged, just from the solar from the morning, from the time the sun goes up until I get up. Like if I get up at 8 o'clock or 8:30, 9 o'clock, uh, the batteries are already just about fully charged. So and then they're nice fully charged all day long as the sun is kind of cloudy and sunny a little bit, not overcast fully all the time. But yes, I do have solar there, Kat. I got 300. I think it's 300 watt unit. You can buy more. You can put more up there. It just seems like the more you have, the more you need. The more you like. I have friends that have one battery. I have three. I have 300 watts of solar. They have 80 watts of solar, and they're doing just fine. Like, and then the minute they put on a couple batteries, I think they went up to two batteries and a larger solar panel. Then it always seemed like they never had enough power. It's just like they were always the more efficient one seemed like the smaller one battery and the smaller solar. Which you would think, if you double everything, you should double what you had. Apparently, no. So I'm not too sure if even if someone oh, Ronnie just was saying something about diesel heater. What? I must be missing what's going on in the chat window. For a diesel heater is about $110 there. $110 for a diesel heater. Where is that? That states? Uh, see that now? If you convert that to Canadian money, that's what it would be for Canadian, roughly. I don't know. If you pay 210, I pay another $100 more than that. That's what you would pay in Canadian money. So probably just over the $200 mark. You can buy them as cheap as that, or at least some parts. Yeah. Okay, we've been here now. Oh, and rugby maybe with the football. Yeah. Okay. I probably did put AM instead of there. We caught up finally again with the. I wish I had some way of. Um, I seen one on YouTube. He built a method. It just has a pole. Nobody has to go up on the roof. Uh, it had two panels. Let me see if I can do this. Two panels on top of each other, and it would not just in the sun straight up. Just one would work, but there was a locking mechanism. He would have a long pole, and he'd push this mechanism, and then this one would come out. Now he's got two panels, and then that had a lever that he could tip these things this way or this way, not up this way, but at least this way and this way. It all depends how you park. And then to put them away, you didn't even have to go up there. Just tilt them back to normal, and then push that one underneath the other one for traveling. Okay, let me just see what we got here. I want to pull. I want to pull in putting solar next year. Oh, okay. getting more self-efficient, eh? Diesel heater and now solar. Oh yeah, okay. Now is the season for diesel heater. Just got another message from somebody. Some people are, well, I guess if you're leaving a message in a forum for your problems, you're having problems. Most people don't go and type in there and said, I have had nothing but success. Here's what I do. I mean, if you go to the forums for problems, it's people that have been having problems. And usually you're going to have to kind of write a book in order to type in your problem, because people think right away, okay, well, what model of unit do you have, and what kind of controller you have on the wall, and what's this and what's that, and uh, they want to know all questions that are got really nothing to do with it, really. Um, then they'll say, "What, you told us all this stuff, but you forgot to mention this or that," or like, get on with the question already. Assume some things, maybe give an answer that has those questions built into it. Like, if you haven't done this, try this, this, and this. But, anyways, so I don't usually go to forums looking for breakdowns, but I get notifications all the time. I forgot to test and make sure my furnace actually works. The old furnace would use more electricity than the diesel heater, I think. Oh yeah, that's for sure. You can actually, if you have a multimeter with a clip on the end there that tells you the DC current, you can measure which one's using more power when they're going by just putting the clip around the wire. Doesn't matter which wire. When they're on, it'll tell you what the current is. Unless you got a way to figure out the current if you have a readout somewhere. So is today actually Sunday? Am I going live on not a day I should be? What the heck's going on here? Today is Sunday. What do you know? Okay, maybe because I had set the time was so weird that I don't see anybody in the house at all. Well, right now that says there's one, which is like really strange to begin with. I was out earlier today trying to catch up on some of my videos that I've been missing. And yeah, when you bump into several in a row, it takes up a lot of time. All you got to do is bump into, like, what is it, 10-minute videos, and that's an hour. Today is Sunday. Oh, hey, no problems. All you got to do is ask the question. You get all the free advice you want. I can give you anyway. My free advice doesn't mean it's always correct, but I tap myself on the back. I do have a lot of experience with these things, and being good and bad. So, I mean, if everything works all the time, you can't help the ones that are problems, because you know it's. What do you know? We had our first uh, negative result there. I was off screen for a while. I guess maybe you thought I'd left. when is the courtside meetup? Is that this weekend here coming up right now and starting? So maybe that's what's going on. Yeah. I do have a lot of Canadian viewers, unless they're down there themselves, visiting down there. That's too bad. I can't go. I applied for my passport a month ago. Finally, they give me a phone call and said, "What's the address? What's your address?" And I said, "Well, it's my post office box. It's my address." "Well, no, we can't have that. We have to have a physical house address." I said, "Oh boy, now here we go." I said, "I don't have a house. I live in a van, motorhome." "Well, we need an address. There's no possible way." So I said, "Well, what about my friend in Medicine Hat there that look after my mail, my post office box? He goes and picks up my mail every now and again if there is anything in my post office box." I said, I'll give you his address. So that was good, as long as you give a physical address. So, and then they're going to ship my passport to my post office box address. They won't put it on the they won't put it on the passport itself, but they'll ship it to there though. Like, that made no sense to me. Been ongoing for a week already. Holy smokes. And if you're like me and don't believe, yeah, I follow some of those people that are going there. Uh, well, maybe I have been trying to check them out. Maybe they haven't had anything out yet that I've seen, anyways. And then there's some that I don't get notifications of anything, so it just bypasses, and I don't get to see it anyway. So that's quite all right. That's quite all right. Watching videos from the government. What? Yeah, no kidding. When does the government ever make sense? It's like they said the last vote, like the vote was so low and what have you, that number counts. And, well, who wants to vote? Yeah, or there's, I think I've had some friends that just started going live. They finally started saying, "Well, okay, I'm gonna decide. I'm gonna start going live. What day should I pick? And what? Pick a day and time that's good for you, and is good for most of your viewers. What time they're on, like where they're from, can take consideration in their time, and then just go on. You can't worry about when somebody else is going to be on, and you're on at the same time they are. It's just unfortunate. You just go on when you can. Make a time, stick to it. Mine are on Sundays at 1. And I think when I get back to Alberta, I think I'll keep them Sundays at 1 also. So, and if you're regular people, they know you're on at Sunday at 1. They're somebody didn't bother to get the permit. Oh, oh, really? Oh, really? Kenneth was on Bob Wells's live stream, was he? Oh, cool. I didn't see that one. I'm gonna maybe have to go check that one out. Bob Wells's live stream. Oh wow. What's her name? Dee was with Bob Wells. Kenneth and Linda said something at the end of his live stream. Oh, they said something, eh? Okay. Yeah, Bob Wells has been on for quite a while. He's got a few thousand followers, eh? I know of him. I know who he is and what have you. I just don't follow him though. Well, that was a good tea, actually. So let's see if I can. At least when the chat moves slow, you can read them all. So the Dream on Wheels at the campfire. Dream on Wheels. I think you don't remember their names. They sometimes come to my lives. I've seen them here anyway. I went on one of their lives here just the other day. So I do know of them. I know them. I'm a bad participant sometimes, I guess. I do like to show my support in every way I can, anyways, at the moment, for the moment. Oh, yeah, Travis. Right. And Yanni? Okay. Right. I remember now. So at the top of my screen, when that symbol pops up there, and it only happens every once in a while, that's like when the Wi-Fi is having a tougher time, and then that symbol pops up, and if it stays up there for a longer period of time, then the Wi-Fi might kick out, or so. I see how that works. One video, yes, they were at the end of the live stream a couple of days ago. Cheap RV living. Yeah, Wells is a thing. Eh? Oh, yeah, very cool indeed. I probably do know that Linda. Know of her, but anyway, yeah, I do know Kenneth. He's been getting around a lot lately. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Travis and Yanni. I don't even know if I have that written down. I should write it down. Oh, my book is right now. Okay. Oh, there. See, I can't quite get fast enough to see that symbol up on top there. So I went offline here once just a minute ago, right? Or a few minutes ago now. And I don't know if the StreamYard is working or not. He's flying back home today. Oh, did they have where's that, like hurricanes and stuff? Not right there, but somewhere like last week or something, and now this is like carry on from that. Or yeah, not good. Certain times of the year, you don't want to travel to certain places. You can help it. Oh, ice storm. Can't speak today. Ice storm. Oh, because on my end over here, my picture went black, and the little swirly thing in the center, that little arrowhead that goes around and around and around, and black. That's all I get to see. I don't know whether my voice is gone or my video is gone or what. I think my video is obviously gone. I don't know if the audio is. And then a few seconds later, it came back online. But I think that's my Wi-Fi then. So an ice storm. Ooh, that's not good. In California. Holy. Yeah. I know what ice storms are like, that's for sure. I don't know if anybody out there knows what like blizzards are. When you get a blizzard or a snow drifts, not to be falling snow, just it's there's light snow on the ground and it's windy. And man, it'll make some drifts. It's like sand. I guess you won't get through it. I didn't notice any buffering here, but I live on the back end beyond my introverts are usually nosy. Oh, God. In Canada anyway, I think we pay the most money for any kind of services of any kind. Okay, if you're getting little circle things going around, I think that's, yeah, on your end, not my end anyway. We usually get them in February and March. I know there's still it's still coming up. Yeah, and it's so nice here now. We had bad weather, and I think, well, February, March is that's when it usually gets bad here. So I think, are we still in for more, or what? Are those things they put in the shoulder mandatory in those things they put in the shoulder? Yeah, calving season. So yeah, they pick the cows pick a good time to do calving. uh okay. There's something on the shoulder. I don't know about that one either. In the ditches or on the shoulder? And what's the purpose of what this is? In the ditches they put these little fences, tiny little fence So when the snow blows, it that catches it, won't blow it onto the highway as much. Okay. Yeah, calving season. Sheboygan. Oh, okay. Sheboygan. What do we get? Referring to the job. Okay. Many days of extremely heavy snow, but not like 20 or 30 years ago. Yeah. I think the farther east you go, I don't know if the states is like that, but for Canada anyway, the farther east you go, the I mean it gets cold all the way across Canada, but it doesn't get as cold as the central Canada, but you get a lot more snowfall. But they all have very cold times. So okay, yes, it's changed, but not too much. I didn't want to say anything controversial about mandates. Okay, hang on. I got to mute the thing here for a second. Be coming right on back. Oops. Wait a minute. That's not the right one to push. This one. This one. You have to talk amongst yourselves for just a moment. Couldn't find my drink. There, all better again. Okay. Yeah, yeah. They a place downtown that had amazing pasties. Yeah, that almost sounds like something the guy should make for later on for to eat. There was that little cafe downtown anyway. Okay, I'm wondering what happened to. Let me go see if I can find the YouTube thing here. Okay, there we go. Now I made it. Hopefully, made it so that trolls, if they want to come in and actually make a comment or put a hi or put anything, um, they have to become a. They have to subscribe for 5 minutes, and then they can post something in the chat window. So maybe, hopefully that'll discourage them. They'll say, "I forget it, move on." Yeah, the bratwurst and beer. Then there's the three B's, food groups unto themselves. Yeah, bakeries, bratwurst, and beer. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now that see, I'm going for drinks still, and I don't have any there. Well, that's not good. Okay. So I don't know how they work it where you guys are, but when you go pick up your pills, your medication, if you do take any, uh, monthly medications, and you get your 3 month supply, and then you go pick up your medications, and they say, "Here's one here. We were a little short. We owe you another." Let's example. We owe you another 15 days on this one here. So then you go back in a couple days when they do have them. Sometimes they notify you that your order is here. So then you go and you don't have to pay for it because you paid for it when you. Well, I didn't even know this. I thought I had to owe more extra. That's kind of nice to get it sort of kind of free. You think but you paid for it early. So anyway, that bothered me a little bit. And then the idea of I should be able to just walk into any pharmacy wherever you live and purchase your pills as long as you can prove who you are. Uh, yeah, I did make a bean soup. I think last year that had several kinds of beans in it. I don't even know if this should be called bean soup. I think there's probably more of them. I didn't get to count them all, but there's a lot of beans. There's only three things in the whole soup. There's beans, navy beans only, potato, little chunks of potato, and a dumpling, a dough. Uh, that's the whole. Hello, Tommy. Thanks for coming in today. Thanks for spending some time with us here today. I'm explaining about the bean soup, uh, cat. It's just some soup that my mom used to make, and we kind of grew up with. Some we weren't a rich family, so a lot of foods we made were uh, real cheap, easy to make, and you know what? I didn't even realize the fact that we were that poor, and that was a poor man's kind of a meal, and you know, like macaroni and cheese. Like I love mac and cheese. Wow, with wieners or something, hot dogs. But this bean soup was just so easy to make. Even the dough is just a dumpling, a hard, not a fluffy dumpling, but a hard dumpling dough. Um, Flour, egg yolk, salt, and water, and then make it the right consistency to spoon it in at the end because it doesn't take long to cook that stuff. But a nice a nice soup you would eat in the winter, keep you nice and warm. Yeah. And the thing of it is, like, I make such a big batch, and it could go two ways. If you don't want to eat soup all the time for every meal, like, it'll go bad on you, as a lot of soups will if you don't eat them like every day. And and then sometimes I eat about half of it or more than half of it the first night. Like, that bean soup is really good when you cook it a second time. You make it the first night. It's hot. It's a nice tasting soup. But tomorrow is when you're gonna really tastes good. And if I could only figure out how to make it one night and don't eat anything, and then I'll have enough for maybe 2 or 3 nights after that. Yeah, it's hard. There are some things I can't quite make. I would like to. Pierogies with the pierogi sauce. I can make I can make it several ways and kind of cheat. I can buy the pierogies out of the grocery store. Pierogies you buy out of the grocery store, those little kind. Well, from when I was growing up, our pierogies were 3 to 4 or 5 times the size of those little pierogies. One pierogi, filled with cottage cheese, and a variety of other stuff too. But cottage cheese was the main one, and the other thing, it was the main sauce that you would put on this white colored, uh, made with cream and sour cream and butter, and this sauce that you would put on top. Now those were large pierogies, no potato in them. It was just, like I said, mainly cottage cheese. So there again, kind of your cheap meal to make. But the whole hard thing was making the dough, and then you had to roll it out and make it flat, and then cut it to certain sizes, and then put the cottage cheese. The cottage cheese had egg in it, egg yolk, egg white, whatever, had egg in it. And you remember that. And you can put green onion chives in there also. And then you boil those, and it doesn't take long to cook those. Once they're floating, they're cooked. And there again, because they're so big, you need a big pot to boil these. But there again, nice homemade meal. That was one of our favorite. Even when we were growing up, us us kids, the family, we'd get together, and we'd say we'll buy the stuff. When we're in our 30s and we'll go home for a little bit, we say we'll buy the stuff and we'll help make it, but we need mom made it the best, so she had to get her hands in there. So we'd go out and purchase whatever was necessary, and it was just rolling that dough out, which was hard. And I can remember her making that dough, and it was amazing. It was great. I haven't found any soup that comes in a can that tastes like a homemade soup. I don't care what kind it is. Homemade soup's always much better, even if you make it yourself and it's a simple, something simple as a vegetable soup. You buy, let's say, very simple. You buy your vegetable broth, you buy your vegetables, chop them up, you throw them in, you boil them up, and that be it. Uh, Even that soup right there is much better for you than a canned vegetable soup, and a canned vegetable soup won't taste as good as that. That's for sure. Oh, what do you know? My Stream Elements did work. One came up and said, "Hey, how you doing? We have some merch." Uh, yeah, the homemade. Did I miss that one? Yeah, I literally ate so much beans at one time. Grade school, the entire classroom moved away from me. Yeah, no kidding. Well, me and that's what beans does with me. The same thing. And if I make a bean of any kind, like in a stew or a chili, or yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have a nice big bowl of hot vegetable soup right now? Oh boy, I could just oh, got my mouth watering now. And it's fast and easy to make though too. That's another thing, and probably cheap because vegetables are probably one of your cheaper. Depends on what vegetable, I suppose, but seems to be a lot cheaper than your meat kind of things, and probably better for you, like a vegetable soup with. All depends what kind. If you want potatoes in there or not, I'm just thinking like a with big chunks of potato and onion and carrot and pepper and celery and oh my goodness, I don't know what else you'd put in there, but Nate, what are some things you'd put in the vegetable soup that would go like with just making your vegetable soup? I made some chili a few days ago. The onions and beans did not agree with me. Yeah, well, some people that onions and beans don't get along too well. Hi, Daryl. Daryl, Van City Adventure is in the house. Are you doing some driving there, Daryl? Just got back from an adventure. Oh, right on. Sunday, we get ready for Monday work, I suppose. Well, if you just got back, was it yesterday or day before? Man, it was a nice day. Holy, it just seemed like there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was beautiful. And I know I shouldn't be. I didn't. Well, I had kind of a. That's weird because Jim Hortons here was closed this morning at 8:30. Well, between 8 and 8:30. Yeah, yesterday was nice, and today, yeah, it was a little foggy here today earlier, but it's gone now. If I'm looking in your direction at the moment, it's yeah, I can just see like gray. Like I can't see. Yeah, I can see the fog that going that way today. Foggy with the and the sun. Oh, okay. Oh, when you were out, when you had a nice sunny day out there. Then well, that's good. Yeah, you don't get to see those too often. Uh, yeah, and that's a nice thing about vegetable soup. And you just whatever you have in the add some ham or bacon, potatoes. Good way to use up all. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's what I like about vegetable type of soup. You see me, I'm waving. Oh, okay. Have to figure out a way to change the stream elements icon. I think you can do it. For TikTok, you can do all kinds of things. For Twitch, I think you can do all kinds of things. For YouTube, it's a little harder. The dog and the sun. Oh, cool. Yeah, it was it was beautiful sunset that day. Man, it was nice. We went out to happened to be Eddie and Monica have their little car here too, and we went to Duff and Donuts, and on the way there, it was just a beautiful sunset. But the days are getting longer. I think I can feel it. Been doing the following the Hawaiian, not the Hawaiian. What the heck am I thinking of? The Mexican thing there. All these places I remember I was. I gotta go back to a lot of these places. That's what I get. I finally got my passport being sent to Alberta, but either way, I have nowhere to put my vehicle if I go from here. Where am I going to leave all my stuff? This is my house. I hate just parking my house on the side street and leave it sit there for however long I'm gone. I mean, even if I go back to Alberta, I don't know where I'd put it either. Well, I have a friend that might be able to let me park it in his business lot there. All right, Kat, thanks again for popping in the conversation. It was great. Hope you had some wonderful tea or coffee with you, and you inquisitive, loved the questions and the answers, and right on. Yeah, no relatives nearby where I'm at right now. I come to BC to Vancouver to escape the cold winters in Alberta, and being here, then I don't. I just have like friends that I've made through the years coming here, like Eddie and Monica. I don't know why. Just wherever they go, I kind of go. Most 99% of the time, there are times when I go myself somewhere if I want to go somewhere to do something, you know, video something, then I'll just go somewhere because I got my house with me. I just go. So have a good evening there, Kat. Thank you very much for probably well into the evening there, not well into, but it's oh wow, it's 2 o'clock here. So that means I've been on for an hour. Yeah, and you see, I started early, so it says I've been on for an hour and 3 minutes. Park at the church. Well, it all depends. You see, that's the thing. This is the funny thing. I went to Vancouver here. I walked in personally to the uh, Canada Services station, filled out the forms to get my passport, got all the information. They sent it in, then they said they'll phone me, and so the whole idea was my birth certificate and my driver's license. My name isn't exactly the same. One has a Wayne J, and the other one has Wayne Jacob, and they don't like that. And then my address was not a house address; it was a post office box, and they don't want to have a post office box as a permanent address. It has to have a physical house address. So I used my friend's address as the. So anyway, the address that's on my driver's license is my post office box. And then on the phone, she says, well, we can't, we have to have a physical address. So I gave my friend's physical address. And I said, well, can't I go pick it up? She's going to send it to Medicine Hat. And she's going to, not only that, she's going to send it to my post office box, which was not important a second ago. Now it's all of a sudden important because that's where they're going to send it to. So too many hoops to jump through to get it sent to BC So I just get it sent to. So if my friend sends it here, then I'll have to worry about where I can park if I decide to go in February, March. If I decide to wait till spring, well, then I'll be back in Alberta and I'll have a place to park there. I should be able to find a place to park it. Um, that's the only problem when you live in a vehicle. Is even if you're broke down and you have to spend a night in a hotel, it feels like you're not at home anymore. Like it feels weird. It, it it doesn't matter where I park. It's like I'm always at home. It feels weird if you have to sleep somewhere else. Almost 5 for you. Okay, that's 3 hours. So you must be way on the east coast, right on the coast, more or less. There, because that's the far 3 hours across either way. I think they did have a vote on whether they wanted to leave the time zone alone and don't just put it at a time and leave it there. And it was so close that, but it's still moving, which is kind of a waste of time. I guess it all depends on where you want to leave it. And you have lots of light at night or lots of light during the morning. What do you like? So, unfortunately, you have to pick one. Near 5. Yeah, most people that come on and watch lives when you're on the West Coast, their time is uh, much later because they're either on the east or across the pond, which is they're sleeping already or should be pretty close to. And then if you get over to the Philippines, like that's what 14 hours difference. And every once in a while, they will pop in to say hi. Can't sleep. So then again, on the YouTube side, what do we have? Okay, that I can't move that. Oh, there we go. I don't get to see the YouTube side, but before Tommy popped in, I didn't have any uh, moderators. Now there's a moderator. Okay, what do you mean? You're placing an order right now for I thought you had a diesel heater. You're buying another one. These are like self-built units, or are they like some of them are standalone units? All you got to do is still exhaust the exhaust out. You didn't receive a notification today for some reason. Oh, well, that's weird. I think something happened. Um, Ronnie Braun actually was in an hour early and was typing in messages about diesel heaters, and then I came on, and up in the top corner it says in blue it'll say go live, which means you're not live yet. So you click on it and it'll go live for you. And then when the time counts down, it'll say 0 and you are ready to go live. Well, it said that before 1 o'clock, and you still have to press the go live in order to go live. It's not automatic. So then I didn't know whether to go live right away, like before 1 o'clock, or wait. So I went early, and I don't know. I don't know what happened. Ronnie Braun said I put the AM instead of PM or something, and maybe that's why. That could be a problem with technical difficulties, anyways. And nobody probably got a notification. That's why there's nobody really came to the live today. Nobody got notified, I don't think. Oh, once you start feeding the birds out here, you get flocks of them, and the crows are really smart, and yet the seagulls are the ones that get all the food. They're a little bit bigger bird, and they bully the crows out of the way. But crows are a very very smart bird, intelligent. So when I feed them, I have old bread or stuff. I guess maybe they're not supposed to feed on, but um, I scare the seagulls away. They can go fishing if they want to get. They eat anything. Where the crows will eat just only certain foods. You've done a 10-minute live as a private and didn't realize it. Hey, wonder why nobody was popping in, eh? Wonder where everybody is. And I think if you go in as an incognito, you can go on. I don't know if it cell phone can do that, but yeah, yeah. You can go set your browser for incognito and then go in. You don't count as one, so even the count doesn't go up in the corner. Where right now it says there's four in the house. There could be five or six. Uh, it's just that it doesn't count you if you're incognito. Yeah, I think that's why somebody was saying there was a lot of people at Quartzsite right now. So that's what they're all doing. That Quartzsite thing, that's way more popular than me. So that's why they're all there. And then I guess it all depends on what kind of group of people you're hanging around with. That just goes to show you that all my friends are at the Quartzsite thing. There you go. That's the whole reason right there. I got it figured out now. Yeah, isn't it, what country is it? France or something? Germany, France, or something's going to say no more masks now, and another countries are going to a week later are going to, like Canada as well is doing something coming up here. I think there's something. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the virus. I mean, we know all too well that there is a virus out there, and that's the way it works. So, and I know of a couple. I know of one for sure that passed away because of COVID, a Van Dweller guy, and because of some meetup. Just don't remember his name or anything right now. I don't even think I uh, was subscribed to him. I just knew him from seeing him on other people's lives. Yeah. And I guess whatever country has got the least amount of problems, that's the one that's going to do this thing coming up here next week here. Like no more masks at all. Wonder if some people will still say, "Oh, I know we don't need to have a mask, but we're still gonna." Can't come in our store unless you have your mask. Wonder if they can do that. It's too bad. It's too bad OBS streaming software doesn't work the same way as StreamYard. I'd switch over immediately. It's just to have I don't usually have guests on anyway, though. But just to have a guest on is a lot harder work to get someone else to come on. Not only that, it uses your computer resources. But when I did live with it, I had no problems. It when I'm by myself anyway, no panel, it worked beautifully. What does Ronnie say here? He's going to the next year. I'd like to go to the RTR next year. I don't think it'll happen, but that would be cool. Yeah. I guess it all depends on where it is and how far you got to go. Yeah, it all depends on where it is, where you are, and how far to get there. And then you just, if you're living in a vehicle, you just follow the heat wave, or the kind of heat wave you like, and just go. You could avoid the cold if you don't like the cold, or you could avoid the heat if you don't like the real heat. I guess it'd probably be really hard to travel if you had to try to avoid everything. Yeah, free camping. I just remember when I was a kid, when the whole family went camping, we took the trailer or whatever out to campsites that today you pay for. But back then, they were all free. They even had wood already chopped up in a bin. You'd go pick it up and chop it up, put it in your fire. It was all free. We didn't even have to pay for the campsite. So I don't know. Today, you can't find a campsite that isn't free. They charge you no matter where you go, or you can't pitch a tent anywhere. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, free for a reason, maybe. Nowadays, yeah, you have to go to the what do you call it, the Crown Land place. I still work a full time job. Yeah, well, then you probably get like 2 weeks off in the summertime or whenever you can take off, and they give you a holiday time. You can. Yeah, remember them days when even the yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, most people do that. They work all year long, and then they take 2 weeks off in the summer, and they go holiday somewhere, and then they go back to work and for another whole year. Do it again next year. But yeah, sometimes that's the most you can take off is 2 weeks. If you can uh, wheel and deal it every now and again, it's nice to get a long weekend in. Just like one day, or Friday and a Monday. That would be nice every now and again. At least if you got some places to go camping. And we used to, I remember, tent and stuff in the wintertime too, and get out the barbecue and do it in the winter. So, but you gotta, there again, you gotta like the cold, or you gotta understand it's gonna be cold. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand you. Yeah, you can only take 2 weeks max at one time. But yeah, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. And I just remember, like I said, when we were kids, and the campsite was amazing. Like it was built, you know, for to park your vehicles there, but it was unmanned and went and like I said, like totally free. I don't remember anything to do with like abuse and garbage and stuff like that. It was always everybody looked after their own stuff, and it was all cleaned up. And we used to take like when I used to belong to a group of, it wasn't Boy Scouts, it was through the church. It was called the Boys Brigades. You would do the same types of things that Boy Scouts would do, and camping was one of them. So every once in a while in the summer, they would take us out to these camp places, and we'd pitch our tents, and I just remembered that like there was no like, them guys louder than these guys, or things like that going on. It was, and anything that your garbage was always cleaned up and taken away, and it was just amazing. Like, and the wood was brought in by the I guess the parks people. They would, all summer long, they'd be falling all the dead wood, and that's the wood. They would chop it up into chunks, this big, and then so big around, and then you would pick these up, take them to your campsite, and chop them up for your fire. But all that was free. So, and nowadays, uh, hi, Shawn. Afternoon. Yes, it's probably late in the afternoon there for you. Um, if you go by at your corner store, your wood for the takeout camping, and you get a bundle of wood, it cost you like $10. You could burn that whole bundle of wood in an hour, no, like less, no time at all. It's gone. So, hi, Shawn. I get way more time than okay. Thank you for popping in again, my dear. We're kind of all over the board as far as the thing goes. Well, that's the main object of the chat today. Was just a chat day. Uh, if anybody had any questions, or have you want to talk about anything in particular yourself, we hit on soup there for a while. That was good. Just reminds me, what should I make later on? My goodness. And another problem is I don't like to do dishes right after you eat, more or less, like get it out of the way and get done. I used to like to relax after you eat and sit back, watch a little TV or something, watch a little YouTube. But then your dishes get maybe the next day or something, and then they're harder to clean, so, or more of. So, my goodness. if that part, and some things are harder to work with than others, especially that dough when I made the bean soup. Well, you mix the dough in the bowl, and yeah, then it has, once you get it all spooned in there, it still has like dough inside of it, and that you got to clean that. If you let that get hard too long, well, it's not good. Let's see if I can make some more drink in this thing here. My tea is all gone, So I hope you're enjoying whatever kind of drink you have, whatever flavors you got going there. And we are parked where it's not so sunny today. This is tricky. But I think when I was talking to somebody, we did have 12.5 on the old Richter scale up there for voltage. Now it's down to 12.3. So another 2 points, and we'll have to get the power going again. And I don't even have the heater on right at the moment, anyways. Oh, I think if I was to have moved from already been in a vehicle and then moved from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, kept moving that way, I would be downsized to a good size. But I just came from a house to this vehicle, so I wanted to take everything with me because I need that, and I need that, and I need that, and I have a whole bathroom back there. Like, this is built from a factory. This is not my building. I didn't build this, but it has a. Too bad it doesn't have an oven. I would love to have an oven. But it has a 3 burner stove. It has a sink. It has a granite countertop, by the way. um, Lots of storage places here and there. It had a bunk bed or a bed up on top. You pull the top out, and then you would go up there. I didn't. That's too confined for me. I didn't like that. Being by myself, I didn't want that bed up there, so I use it for storage. Then in the back, then I have a fridge. Then I have a toilet, and I have a shower, and I have a sink back there, and I have a closet, a whole bathroom. That whole back end of the van has just stuff in it everywhere. It's got stuff everywhere. There's no place of anything. So I'm still over. I got way too much stuff, and sometimes I lose things. And what the hell? Where is that? Where have I got that? I don't remember where I've seen that. And then a month or two will go by, and I'll finally bump into it and say, "Oh, here's that thing I was looking for." Been snowing here. Wow, 5 inches of snow. 5 inches of, especially all depends what kind of snow it is. If it's light and fluffy or heavy and wet. Either way, it's a shoveling situation. Yeah. So there's still snow in the still snow up there. So when the water gets evaporated and it goes up into the air, and it's a little droplet, it's got some weight to it. So whatever the mechanism is to keep that droplet in the air until it's ready to rain, until they're pretty heavy. How heavy is? I used to know a fact about how heavy the sky is, and you can actually figure it out. But I used to know the answer to that one. I used to know the weirdest trivia questions. But so the rain has some weight. So does it have to get to a certain weight before it decides, okay, this is it, we're too heavy, we're going to fall now, and down they come? So is it the exact same for snow? If if snow is up there, does it have to be a certain weight before it decides, okay, that's it, we're going to fall? Or I guess we got to ask some scientists those questions. Oh, fortunately, you don't have to do the shoveling. Oh, okay. Are you in one of those places where they have the service guys do the lawns and they do the shoveling and they keep the place? Or even some people come around in Medicine Hat, anyways. You can hire these guys and they come around and shovel your snow in the winter and they'll do your grass and stuff in the summer times. That's their job. It's like yard work. Some of them make pretty good money doing that. Actually, when you charge one, two, $300 a year for snow removal, but all depends, I guess, on how much it snows. And when you, they usually like to have it once the snow is finished or whatever length of time. Anyways, you got to get the snow off of there. Been snowing for 5 inches. So okay. There's someone to deal with the grass and now the snow. Yeah. Okay. And now snow. Yeah, and even when I was a kid, before that service was an actual business, I just remembered when I was a kid, um, down the street, you'd look at the elderly people down the street and can't get out and do their snow. You'd charge them like not a monthly fee or anything, but for that one time, you'd go out there and start shoveling their snow, and they would pay you for that one time thing. They might, if you did a good job, they might just hire you the next time, and so on. But it's just you would walk down to the neighbors' houses with your shovel in hand, uh, wanting to do snow removal for a fee, like $5 fee or a $10 fee or whatever they would give you. And when you're a young kid back in the '60s, '70s, that was a good way to make money. Not so much in the summertime with the cutting the lawns and stuff. You could do that if you were dedicated, um, but mostly in the summer, you wanted to get out and do your own things in the summer, as opposed to, well, if you wanted money, then you would cut somebody's lawn, then you give you some money, and one way to make a few dollars for the summer months. But like I said, now they got those services, an actual business that you call, and that's what they do. And so they have like 20 or 30 clients that they look after. So in the summertime, they're cutting lawns and doing other kind of weeding and stuff, uh, for 20, 30 people. Summer would be easier to do, I would think, because you could stagger your days. But in the winter, when it snows, it snows the same for everyone. And usually you want your driveways and your sidewalks shoveled right away. Like you don't wait a few days. So that's winter would be a little bit tougher. You got to hire more people to do your work, and then they're paying them a minimum wage at least. So uh, my dad would snow blow their driveway. Okay, he'd snow blow their driveway. There, one time where I lived when I was a kid, I remember some guy. It must have been Christmas. He got himself a riding lawnmower, but it also had the capability of blowing the snow. So a city block, right? And he went around the whole city block, and then in our neighborhood there, the whole block, because he got that for Christmas, and he thought that was something else. So he had done everyone's sidewalk around the whole block there. It was amazing. Everybody got up in the morning and their I don't know if you did the driveways or not. I don't remember that part, but I just remembered him doing the all the way around the sidewalk there. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'd used to do. If I wanted money or something, that was one way in the winter. And then we lived about uh, a block and a half, a city block and a half away from an outdoor skating rink. And sometimes it was so cold, and the ice once it snows and the ice gets compacted on the city streets, that's there until springtime. Um, so it's like a sheet of ice. So we'd put our skates on in the house at home and walk out onto the city street and then skate all the way to the outdoor rink. That's you could skate all the way there. Yeah, yeah. You were so proud you got something, eh? And then but it was too big for your place, so you had to do everybody else's. Yeah, because I just remember we didn't have a driveway at first, and then we put one in. But when you shovel the snow, you get a routine in there, where you would do down the side first or down the front second, and then like the sidewalk around the house, like down the side, around the front, down the out to the city sidewalk, and then the city sidewalk or something. There was always this routine. But then we got a driveway put in. Well, that was a much bigger area to shovel, and it was right between. Well, there was the city side or the sidewalk going to the city street, and the driveway were so close that you couldn't put a pile between them. So it was, your shoveling became a whole. The routine was thrown out the window, and you had to make a new routine. Where you couldn't shovel the driveway this way, and you couldn't shovel the sidewalk this way. You had to shovel them away from each other because there was nowhere to put it down the center. So it was a little harder. So instead of doing the driveway maybe center and then go out each way, you had to start one end and nowhere to put the farthest you could throw the snow away with the other half of the driveway. So you'd have to be shoveling it twice more or less before you got it out of there. But some old people that when it snowed and you shoveled their sidewalk, they expected you even to come. You know, they'd be looking out their doors already, waiting for you to show up with your shovel so that you could fix their yard too. They didn't go anywhere. But back in them day, I don't think they even had the laws they do now, where if it snows and you don't shovel your sidewalk, and you can be sued for that by the city, not only just people. If somebody slips and falls on your sidewalk, but the city will come along and either give you a notice that you have to have that shoveled, or they'll come and do it for you at a certain time and date, which they write on their thing, and then they'll charge you for that service. So you've got to shovel your sidewalk. And I guess in front of the houses, that would be the city street sidewalks. I don't think your sidewalk in front of your house is a private. Is that's not private property because that's a public walkway. Anyway, that part has to be shoveled. I suppose all the way up to your steps to your house. Now, back in the milkman days was different. Our house actually had a by the back door there was an actual box, a hole that went all the way through inside, but it was like a zigzag shape. You couldn't crawl through it. But in the morning, you would put your empty milk bottles in there with some money in the milk bottles. And in the early in the morning, before you got up, the milkman would make his rounds and he'd come and grab those empties and the money and then put some full milk in that chute there and some change if you got any change. And that was it. And when you got up, you'd get up and open that little door from the inside. There was a door in the in and out. You'd open the door on the inside. There was your milk, and the milkman would come like 4 o'clock in the morning. But some people didn't have that door built in their that little hole built in their house, so they would just put the milk bottle outside the front door. The milkman would see the milk bottle out there, and he'd go get it, and then he would take the money and put the new milk there and give you change, what have you, and leave it there. And this is all done before you got up. So when I was a kid, I figured, look at all that money in the milk bottles, just sitting there early in the morning. Like, why don't I get up real early before the milkman comes, and I can have enough money for the day? Well, obviously, you don't get to do that too often because then people know that it was you and what have you. But I did that. I stole the money out of the milk bottles and kept it for candy and stuff. But obviously, when the milkman went there, he saw there was no money there. He probably still left the milk there because he knows that either somebody stole the money or um, the people in the house must have left the money there because they did every day before that. But, anyways, yeah. So then I stopped, either got caught or stopped, or one of the two things, and didn't do it again after that. But then the milkman thing went away. Milk you'd have to buy in the store, and they didn't have a delivery milk guy. So that little door on the side there, side of the house, became redundant. That was the only thing it was used for. Even a child couldn't crawl through it, but it was if you open both doors and could bend your arm weird, you could get your arm through there. But that was about it. Yeah, Dad. Okay, Ronnie, we're just saying something here. Yeah. Well, actually, when I was smaller, when I was a youngster, I would I would think that a majority of the houses in the town we lived in there wasn't even locked all night long. Their front doors weren't even locked. 90%, well, probably 100% of the people wouldn't lock their doors. So yeah, and then everybody knew everybody. You couldn't. There wasn't anything you couldn't do without being somebody knowing. If I would have thought about it, I probably would have done it. Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Well, there's a few things that I not now that I know them things, I wouldn't have done them when I was younger, and vice versa. If I would have known now, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have, yeah, done a few things differently. That's for sure. But when I went living on the farm, that was a fun time of my life. I was the only person. It's like when you come from a city, you have friends and neighbors and stuff. You other let's say 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. It's summertime. It's hot. Your mom calls you in for supper. You go in for supper. You come out. You go out again after supper. You're playing with the neighborhood friends and kids and stuff, and that's your day. But when you're living on a farm, uh, there are no kids. There's only you. Well, if you have a brother and sister, but there was only me. Um, I was sent to live with my grandparents for a while there for summer and a winter. Um, but in the summer, I got no kids to play with. You play so on the farm though. We lived in the city, and then we had a house on the farm, which was maybe 20, 30 kilometers away to the farm area where we did wheat farming. But some because of the wheat farming at the times you couldn't drive all the way back to town and then go to sleep, have supper, go to eat, go to sleep. You're kind of up with the light. You're working as long as there's light, so you stay at the farm. That's why the house was there at the farm. You'd stay out there and live in the house out there for until either harvest was over or whatever time of year it was. So when we'd stay out at the farm that's when there was no other kids to play with. It was only me, and I still had the most fun I could ever think of. Um, there was no batteries back then. Yes, there was battery operated things, but there wasn't any toys. The toys that I did play with were made by my father when he was a child living on the farm. So I mean, I would play with tractors and combines and things and make roads in the dirt and stuff like that all by myself. I didn't have to have other kids to play with. Uh, I didn't even think about kids. Yeah, it's amazing. And then when you go back to the city and the schools there, I remember a time when marbles were a real thing. You'd set up some marbles in front of you with your legs open, and other kids would throw their or roll them and try to hit those whatever one you had set up there, a big one, just one of them, or several little ones that were unique. People would be trying to hit this, and if you hit those, four, five, six of those, whatever there was, you would win them, and they would give them to you, and all the kids would be there. There'd be 10 other kids throwing marbles at yours trying to hit this, and then one would hit it and he'd jump up and say, yeah, I got it, those are mine. And it only took him three shots to get it or something, so he was a pretty good winner. But you could really rake in a big pile of marbles at one time. So I was into marbles. I had a big box full of marbles at one time. That was the city time adventure. The farm type adventures were quite different. Even the school was a two-room school. One room for the armchair wanderer. Hey, thanks for popping in, my friend. It was a two-room school. Um, one was for the lower grades, like grade 6 and down, and the other room was for grade 7 and up, or something. And then while I was there, they did build a bigger school, like a university type school. Each class was its own grade kind of thing, but in the one there, it was all all in one room. So we had, grade 1 to grade 6 in one room there. And so it was a 2-room school, heated with just a wood stove in the center of the room, of our room, anyways. Probably 2 stoves, one in each room. I remember that. And the milkman back then was horse and buggy. The horse knew more than the man where to go and where to stop. It was simply amazing. The horse would go by himself, uh, and the milkman would go up, grab his bottles, do the exchange, come back, put the bottles on the wagon, and the minute the horse heard that part or knew that part, he would start walking to the next stop. And it was simply amazing how this horse knew the whole path through the town on where to go. He could do that all by himself. The stopping and starting part, well, yeah, okay. Maybe they didn't need milk that day or something, so that you'd have to. I don't know how they signal to the horse and carry on, but yeah, I just remember those days. And then for some reason, I had a. See, now the Wi-Fi is not exact. It's not the greatest. We have problems with Wi-Fi. I had an actual boomerang that would. Okay, we can't say an actual boomerang. An actual boomerang is a is a piece of wood that you would throw at an animal and try to hit it and have it for supper. It wasn't meant to fly and come back. And I had one that was meant to come back to you. Wasn't meant as a killing thing. It was a toy. So I took my friend had the real one from Australia, and I had the toy one. But we didn't know the difference and how the shape of these things makes it fly the way it does. But we got to the schoolyard, and I threw my boomerang out there, and it goes, comes back, and I catch it. I don't know if I caught it, what have you, but it came back anyway. And then my friend took his real boomerang, which you throw at something to try to get it for supper. He would go, and it went way out there, and then it, poof, just landed in the dirt. And so I said, "What the heck happened there?" I said, "I got a boomerang. You got a stick. You're throwing your stick around." So he didn't like that. We didn't go boomeranging after that. And mine was meant to not. I guess you could throw it at something if you're accurate. You could hit it, but it definitely wouldn't come back to you after that, though. And the people that are at the court site are probably, where is that? What time of day is it there? Is it like well, it's obviously later than me because I'm on the west coast, and the west coast can't go any farther, so it's probably 2 hours at least. Grew up in Calgary, had milk and bread delivery from vans. Came home to frozen milk some winter days. I didn't know they did bread. That's interesting. I remember the milkman days from the guys that would drive the milk trucks, like 4 in the morning. And then the horse and buggy one was from days when I lived on the farm. I was younger. Uh, Never did see the bottles on the front step as if you didn't have the little window on the side of your house, and it was on the side of the house, or on the front. So how would the milkman know that you had that thing there? I mean, once he knew it once, he would know it the second time. But if it was a new guy, how would he know where? Like if you had milk that day or needed milk that day. So I'm not sure, but yeah, the day of the milkman. And I always thought, wow, what a job. He's got to get up early. He's got to go to the where they have the milk, and it was all glass bottles too back then. Amazing. Yeah, that's kind of see that's I miss those days. I didn't know about the bread though. That would be something. Yeah, your fresh toast and milk in the morning. And in Calgary, yeah, cool. And then on the farm, actually, too, we had I can't remember how many cows we had. Enough that we had milk, and we had a separator. I remember in the barn when we were milking the cows, my either grandfather or my father would spray the cats. They were looking for a drink, and he hit them right in the mouth, like you see on TV and YouTube and stuff all the time. That's exactly. I hear that fat turns yellow, but it doesn't hurt the milk. Okay. Yeah, at one time, all houses had those at one time. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know why. I figured out if you steal the money, there was money there to be paid. You'd never get caught. Like, what? John, thank you for coming in, though, John, my friend. I can't seem to find. I can't seem to find some people online here, like John, for instance. I look for your website. Well, not your website. What am I talking about? Your YouTube channel thing. Oh, here's a bunch of single ones, but they're not they're not the same. So you have an orange symbol. Here's a John with an orange symbol, 2 subscribers, 4 videos. Does that sound like you? And you're looking for subscribers or armchair wanderer? Oh yeah, yeah. I think they did had tokens because people were stealing the money out of it, and tokens were useless. I remember that. Yes, I remember tokens. Uh, but anyway, on the farm when we had the fresh milk from the cows, that was we had separator to separate the milk. Otherwise, it was really fatty. Of course, I loved it. Straight from the cow. now there's 2 bars coming up at the top of the Wi-Fi. Not so good. What does it say here for... growing up, we had... Okay, see, now I'm locked. What the heck? Yeah, we would help elderly people. Okay, I got down to the end finally. Land of Lake milk boxes. I don't know if I've heard of those. I used to know a guy that drove the truck that, well, he had to go to the door and put but that was his job, was the milkman. The milkman. All right, so she'd be 3 o'clock. I think we're going to call her a day, a night, an afternoon at 3 bells here. And I'm going to go see if I can pick up some food for tonight. I don't know what I'm going to make. Soup is fast and easy to make. Not maybe as filling as some other foods would be, but I don't know what else. I can't seem to follow my whole food plant-based diet for some reason. I like meat a little too much, and it says not to eat any meat whatsoever. So I'm trying to stay away from meat. Well, this time I'm having a rough time. So, and the first time I just remember doing it like whole food plant-based, like is like potatoes, especially starchy foods. I would eat potatoes, all different kinds, that's all I would eat. Man, that was good. I loved it. Well, thanks, Tommy, for reminding me. Let's go make something to eat. Sandwich or something, or soup or something. I got to go to the store yet, but I think I'd make something to eat here first and then head up to the store later. So, anyways, guys, we are going to call it a night. To use your phone to watch videos or like me, you use Wi-Fi. Yeah, I do most of my stuff, all my stuff on computer, so that's why. And I know phone works differently, and some things, like especially for YouTube, it works differently. And I think on the phone, on your phone or tablet, it'll still notify you of when new videos are coming out, new lives and stuff. But on the computer, it doesn't do that anymore. They took that feature off. So why send you an email saying, you got new videos coming out or what have you? So anyways, thank you very much to everyone. Thanks, Ronnie, for sticking around as long as you did. Thank you for Tommy for coming in. Shawn S was in here. John was in. Armchair Wanderer was in. I probably maybe even had missed a few, but Daryl was here. I've got to look up Daryl again one time. He went on an adventure, and I guess I'm ready for one, so we should be able to have one here soon. Anyways, guys, we'll probably catch you guys all on the next one, the next Sunday Funday for sure. And Gull Lake, Alberta. What do you know? I know Gull Lake. Yeah, Gull Lake, Alberta. Have a great evening, Tommy. Make yourself something nice and hot and delicious. And Shawn was still here. Thank you very much. Appreciate you popping in, everyone. Um, I'm going to call it a night, an evening, an afternoon, a day, a morning, or whatever it is for you guys. But we've been talking about food here. I think I'm getting hungry, and I've been on for a couple hours, so that constitutes a Sunday for me. So, stay nomadic outlaws, everybody. Be kind, be cool, and we'll see you guys all next Sunday. I hope on the next Sunday Funday. Be there or be square.